Welcome to our channel History of Coins, where we explore the hidden gems of numismatics. In today's video, we're diving into the fascinating world of rare quarter-dollar coins, cause some of these coins hold an incredible history, and some are worth millions. So today, we are gonna uncover the rarest varieties and their values. So make sure to watch the complete video and find out if you have one of these. Now let's continue our today's video. Top 1 today. We are diving deep into the story of the United States of America Washington quarter dollar from the year 1974. At first glance, this coin might look like an ordinary piece of change that once passed through countless hands in everyday transactions. But for collectors and coin enthusiasts, it carries a story of history, design, rarity, and hidden value that makes it far more than just a 25-cent piece. So listen very carefully and enjoy the video because you might be surprised to learn just how much one of these coins can be worth today. The Washington Quarter series has a long and fascinating history. First introduced in 1932 to honor the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth, this coin has remained one of the most iconic pieces of American currency. By 1974, the Washington Quarter had already been circulating for over 40 years. The country was experiencing significant cultural and economic changes, from political challenges to the aftermath of the Vietnam War, and coins like the 1974 quarter quietly reflected the resilience of the nation during that era. When we look closely at the 1974 Washington quarter, the design is both classic and symbolic. On the obverse side, you see the bust of George Washington, America's first president, designed by John Flanagan. His strong profile represents leadership and independence, and it is a design that has become etched in the minds of millions of Americans. Above his head is the word liberty, and beneath his chin, the phrase "In God We Trust," a reminder of the values the nation upholds. That on the reverse side of the coin, you'll notice a powerful eagle with wings spread wide, standing on a bundle of arrows, symbolizing strength and readiness. Below, olive branches remind us of the pursuit of peace. Together, these images make the coin not just money, but a miniature piece of art and national symbolism that has stood the test of time. Now, you may ask what makes a 1974 Washington quarter so special. After all, millions of these coins were minted and used in everyday life. The answer lies in rarity and condition. Most of the quarters from 1974 were used heavily, jingling in pockets, circulating through stores, and enduring decades of wear. But a select few have survived in pristine, uncirculated condition. Coins that remain untouched, with their details sharp and surfaces free of scratches, stand out to collectors and can command incredible value. But the real excitement begins when we talk about minting errors. During production at the United States Mint, mistakes sometimes occur. These mistakes can result in coins that are different from the standard design, and collectors treasure them because they are unique. For the 1974 Washington quarter, some of the most famous errors include double strikes, where the coin is struck more than once, creating a shadowy, doubled image. There are also off-center strikes, where part of the design is missing or shifted, and clipped planchets, where a portion of the coin's metal is cut off during minting. Each of these errors makes the coin one of a kind, and collectors are willing to pay high prices for them. Another highly sought-after variation is the transitional error. In some rare cases, quarters from around this era were accidentally struck on planchets intended for other denominations or made from the wrong metal composition. These mistakes are extremely rare and, when authenticated, can dramatically increase the value of the coin. Imagine finding a 1974 quarter in your pocket change and realizing it is not just an ordinary coin, but one with an error or in near-perfect condition. That is the kind of discovery that excites treasure hunters and coin lovers around the world. The combination of historical significance, detailed design, rarity and high grade, and fascinating minting errors makes the 1974 Washington quarter a true prize in the world of numismatics. And now, the part you have been waiting for. If you are lucky enough to come across a 1974 Washington quarter in mint condition, especially one with a rare minting error, its value could reach an incredible $79,000. That's right, $79,000 for a single quarter that most people would overlook as just spare change. So check your coin jars, dig into old collections, and take a closer look at your quarters. You never know when you might be holding a small piece of history worth a fortune. Top 1 today, we're going to uncover the fascinating story of a coin that many people might simply overlook in their change, but that collectors know can be hiding some astonishing secrets. We're talking about the United States of America Washington quarter dollar from the year 1987. At first glance, this coin looks like just another quarter, but listen carefully, because the truth is that some of these coins have features and errors that can turn them into treasures worth thousands of dollars. Sit back, enjoy the video, and let's dive into the history, design, rarity, and hidden surprises of the 1987 Washington quarter. The Washington quarter has long been one of the most recognizable coins in America. First issued in 1932 to celebrate the 200th birthday of George Washington, it quickly became a permanent part of U.S. coinage. By 1987, the coin was already a familiar friend in the pockets of millions of Americans, used in vending machines, grocery stores, and everywhere else daily life took it. Yet, even within such common circulation, there are always those special pieces that stand out to collectors. The design of the 1987 quarter continues the proud tradition set by sculptor John Flanagan. On the obverse side, you'll find the profile of George Washington, facing left, with the word liberty above and the motto "In God We Trust" beside him. Beneath his portrait lies the date, 1987, simple yet significant. The reverse side of the coin showcases the majestic bald eagle, wings spread wide, clutching a bundle of arrows to signify strength and defense, surrounded by olive branches as symbols of peace. It is a timeless design that reflects both resilience and unity. But what makes the 1987 Washington quarter special isn't just the artistry or the history. It's the rare circumstances and errors that make certain examples so valuable. While millions of these coins were minted in both Philadelphia and Denver, most have lived hard lives in circulation. Coins with heavy wear, scratches, or damage are not the ones collectors dream of. Instead, collectors are hunting for quarters in pristine, uncirculated condition, where every detail of Washington's hair and the eagle's feathers remains sharp and untouched. These coins, preserved in nearly flawless state, are worth far more than their face value. Beyond condition, errors are where the real magic happens. Minting errors occur when something unusual takes place during the striking process at the U.S. Mint. In 1987, several types of errors have been discovered. Double die errors, where parts of the design appear doubled, are especially desirable. Off-center strikes are another, where the design is not properly aligned and part of the coin is blank. There are also clipped planchets, where a piece of the coin's edge is missing due to a mistake in cutting the blank metal. These errors are not only fascinating but also extremely collectible because no two error coins are ever exactly the same. Collectors are also drawn to transitional errors. Occasionally, coins are struck on planchets intended for other denominations or with the wrong metal composition. These rare accidents create coins that are unlike any others in existence. When authenticated, they can bring staggering prices at auctions because every collector wants a unique piece that tells its own story. Imagine coming across a 1987 Washington quarter in your pocket and at first thinking nothing of it, only to notice an unusual feature or to realize it's in immaculate condition. That moment of discovery is what makes coin collecting so thrilling. It's a blend of history, art, and chance that turns an ordinary quarter into an extraordinary prize. And now, the part you've been waiting for. If you happen to own a 1987 Washington quarter in perfect condition, especially one that contains a rare minting error, the value could soar as high as $76,000. Yes, you heard that correctly, $76,000 for a single quarter that many people would never look twice at. So take another look at your coin jars, your old collections, or even the spare change lying around. That plain-looking quarter might actually be worth a small fortune. Top 2 today's spotlight is on a coin that millions of Americans once used every day without giving it a second thought. The Washington quarter dollar from the year 1989. It might seem ordinary at first glance, but listen carefully and enjoy this video, because you are about to discover how this coin can transform from a simple 25-cent piece into a highly valuable collectible worth far more than its face value. The Washington quarter has always been an important part of American coinage. Originally introduced in 1932 to celebrate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth, the coin became a permanent feature of everyday commerce. By 1989, the The quarter had already built a long history, carrying with it both tradition and symbolism. These coins were struck at the Philadelphia and Denver mints and entered circulation in huge numbers. Most of them, of course, were used in daily transactions, tossed into vending machines, or jingling in pockets. Yet within that sea of ordinary quarters, a few remarkable examples have become the focus of serious attention from collectors around the world. The design of the 1989 Washington quarter is both iconic and meaningful. On the obverse, John Flanagan portrait of George Washington takes center stage. His strong profile, facing left, represents leadership and determination. The word liberty appears above, while the national motto "In God We Trust" is inscribed proudly to the side. The date 1989 sits below, marking its place in American history. Turning to the reverse, you'll find the bald eagle, wings stretched wide, perched firmly on a bundle of arrows. It symbolizes the nation's strength and readiness to defend itself when necessary. Surrounding the eagle are olive branches, representing peace and balance. Together, these elements give the quarter both beauty and meaning, making it more than just currency. It is a small work of art with deep symbolism. But what elevates the 1989 quarter from ordinary to extraordinary is rarity, condition, and era varieties. While millions were minted, only a tiny fraction remain in pristine, uncirculated condition today. Collectors prize coins where every detail remains sharp, with brilliant luster and no signs of wear. A coin in such exceptional state can fetch impressive prices in the numismatic market. Even more exciting are the rare minting errors that sometimes appear on 1989 quarters. These errors occurred when something went wrong during production at the United States Mint. One example is the double die error, where letters or images on the coin appear slightly doubled, giving the coin a unique look. Off-center strikes are another, where the design is not properly aligned and part of the coin looks shifted or missing. Clipped planchets also appear from time to time, with a curved section cut off due to mistakes in the preparation of the blank. Each of these error types is unusual, and because of their rarity, collectors are eager to add them to their collections. There are also transitional errors to watch for. In very rare cases, coins were struck on the wrong metal planchets, sometimes using blanks mint for other denominations. These transitional pieces are extremely valuable because they are unlike anything else from that year. Owning one is like owning a one-of-a-kind piece of history, and collectors are willing to pay extraordinary amounts for them. Imagine the thrill of checking your old coin jar or a forgotten roll of quarters and finding one from 1989 that looks different from the rest. It might have sharper details, unusual toning, or even one of those rare error features. That is the joy of coin collecting. You never know when a common coin will reveal itself to be a hidden gem. And now, the part you've been waiting for. If you happen to come across a 1989 Washington quarter in pristine condition, especially one with a rare minting error, its value could reach as high as $75,000. Yes, you heard that correctly. $75,000 for a single quarter that many people once used to buy a gumball or a soda. So make sure to look closely at your coins. You could be holding a small piece of American history that is worth far more than you ever imagined. Top 4, we're shining the spotlight on a coin that many people still have lying around without realizing its true potential. The Washington quarter dollar from the year 1995. At first glance, it looks like an ordinary quarter that you might have used at a vending machine or tucked away in an old jar. But listen very carefully and enjoy the video, because this little coin has secrets that can make it far more valuable than anyone could expect. The Washington quarter has long been a symbol of American pride and heritage. Originally released in 1932 to honor the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth, it has remained in circulation for decades and has become one of the most familiar coins in the country. By 1995, the coin had already lived through over 60 years of American history, and though it seemed common, certain examples from this year stand out in surprising ways. That on the obverse side of the 1995 quarter, you will see the classic portrait of George Washington, designed by John Flanagan. His profile, facing left, is framed with the word liberty above and the motto "In God We Trust" on the side. Beneath his image is the date, 1995, a simple marking that now holds special significance for collectors. Flip the coin to the reverse side, and you're greeted by the powerful image of the American bald eagle. with wings spread wide, perched on a bundle of arrows, and surrounded by olive branches. The eagle symbolizes both strength and peace. It is a design that balances force with diplomacy, and it is one of the reasons why the Washington quarter remains such a beloved and respected piece of U.S. currency. But what makes the 1995 Washington quarter extraordinary is not just the design. It is the rarity, the condition, and the errors that make specific coins incredibly valuable. Millions of these coins were struck at the Philadelphia and Denver mints, and most of them went straight into circulation. These everyday coins were used, worn, and scratched, which makes finding one in pristine, uncirculated condition very difficult today. Coins that have been carefully preserved, showing full detail and brilliant luster, are the ones collectors crave. Now let's talk about minting errors, the real gems that make coin collecting so exciting. Errors are accidental, but they create coins that are different from the rest, and therefore much more valuable. For the 1995 Washington quarter, errors like double die strikes, where letters or parts of the design appear doubled, are highly sought after. Off-center strikes are another type, where part of the coin looks shifted and incomplete. You might even come across clipped planchets, where a portion of the coin's edge is missing because of a mistake during production. Each of these errors makes the coin unique, and collectors are willing to pay high prices for them. There are also transitional errors to consider. Sometimes a coin gets struck on the wrong type of blank metal or planchet meant for another denomination. These are extremely rare and, when authenticated, can increase the value of the coin dramatically. Imagine having a 1995 quarter struck on a wrong planchet. That would instantly turn it into a once-in-a-lifetime find. The thrill of coin collecting often comes from that moment of discovery. Picture yourself sorting through a pile of coins, only to notice something unusual about a quarter from 1995. Maybe the details are sharper than usual, maybe the strike is off-center, or maybe it's in absolutely flawless condition. That little difference could mean you're holding something worth thousands of dollars. And now, it's time for the reveal you've been waiting for. If you are fortunate enough to own a Washington quarter from 1995 in perfect, uncirculated condition, or even better, one with a rare minting error, its value could reach as high as $72,000. Yes, you heard that correctly. $72,000 for a coin that most people would consider just pocket change. This is why collectors are always on the hunt, always searching for that one coin that turns out to be something extraordinary. So check your old collections, coin jars, and even your loose change, because you never know what treasure might be hiding there. Top 5. We're about to uncover the fascinating story of the United States Washington quarter dollar from the year 1998. At first glance, this coin seems like an everyday quarter that once passed through millions of hands across the nation. But if you listen closely and enjoy this video until the end, you'll discover how certain quarters from 1998 can be worth far more than their face value, turning ordinary change into extraordinary treasure. The Washington quarter has a long tradition in American coinage. First introduced in 1932 to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth, it became one of the most beloved and enduring coins of the United States. By 1998, the Washington quarter had been around for more than 6 decades, serving as a familiar part of daily life. Yet this year holds special importance, because it was one of the final years before the launch of the popular state quarters program in 1999. That alone makes the 1998 issue historically significant, standing at the end of an era. Let's take a closer look at the design. On the obverse side, you'll see John Flanagan classic portrait of George Washington. His face looks determined, gazing left, framed by the word liberty above and the national motto "In God We Trust" beside him. Beneath, the date 1998 marks its time in history. On the reverse, the proud American bald eagle spreads its wings wide, resting on a bundle of arrows while being framed by olive branches. The eagle, a national symbol of freedom and power, reminds us of America's strength, while the olive branches emphasize the constant pursuit of peace. It's a striking design that had already become iconic by the time this coin was minted, and it remains instantly recognizable to collectors. Now, why is the 1998 Washington quarter so special for collectors? The answer lies in rarity, condition, and minting errors. Millions were produced at both the Philadelphia and Denver mints, so most of them are common. However, very few examples have survived in pristine, uncirculated condition. Quarters that have never been handled, that show every fine detail of Washington's hair and the eagle's feathers are the ones that collectors truly value. Even more exciting are the rare errors that slipped through the minting process. Some 1998 quarters display double die errors, where parts of the lettering or details appear doubled, giving the coin a dramatic and unusual look. Others show off-center strikes, where the design is shifted to one side, leaving part of the coin blank. There are also clipped planchet errors, where a curved section of the coin is missing due to mistakes during production. Each of these errors makes the coin unique, and because error coins are so rare, collectors are willing to pay high prices to add them to their collections. Another type of rarity comes from transitional errors, where coins are struck on the wrong type of metal planchet. These pieces are incredibly rare and can skyrocket in value because they are unlike anything else produced in that year. Imagine finding a 1998 quarter struck on the wrong planchet. Suddenly, an ordinary coin becomes a once-in-a-lifetime discovery. The thrill of collecting comes from these very possibilities. You could be checking through an old coin jar, sorting through a roll of quarters from the bank, or even glancing at change from a purchase, and suddenly spot something different about a 1998 quarter. Maybe it's sharper, maybe it has unusual toning, or maybe it carries an obvious minting error. That's when excitement sets in, because you might just be holding a coin that others would pay a fortune for. And now, the reveal you've been waiting for. If you are lucky enough to own a Washington quarter from 1998 in flawless condition, or better still, one with a rare minting error, the value of that coin could rise as high as $70,000. Yes, you heard correctly, $70,000 for a single quarter that once bought candy, snacks, or soda. That is the magic of coin collecting. The idea that an ordinary piece of change can become an extraordinary piece of history. So check your collections, your coin jars, and even your everyday pocket change, because hidden treasures might be closer than you think. That if you enjoyed this journey into the world of rare and valuable coins, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and tap the notification bell so you never miss future discoveries. Thanks for watching, and happy collecting!